welcome. We are doing our first interview during these pandemic times with Councilperson Zach Young for District 10 that covers Rivergate and parts of Goodlettsville. And since we can't have our normal updates during in-person lunches, we wanted to keep you all up to date about what's going on in our area. So here we are, very first one. Thank you, Zach, for being here and doing this.
Good morning, hello, and thanks, Laura, for asking me to do this. You know, this is probably a lot more exciting than a long email.
Absolutely, it is.
The email might have been a little prettier because I wouldn't have been in it, but
oh no,
this is a good idea. I appreciate it.
The view's great from over here. Don't worry about that.
Must be the lighting.
So I just want to get into, our District 10 and our Rivergate area. I know people have lots of questions about things that are going on. We've seen some businesses that have shut their doors, but we talk about how exciting it is to see some change, though.
Yeah. So first of all, I guess so anyone watching kind of has an idea of the area that I'm most concerned about, which would be District 10. And so if you're in the Madison-Rivergate area coming north, once you cross the railroad tracks by Town and Country Ford, you enter the great District 10. And it continues up Galton Road all the way to the Sumner County line. And so, you mentioned some businesses closing doors. And there have been some, but, I will say that a lot of those are more economic driven and more big picture driven with those companies. Most of them national chains, Party City. Last 12 months really haven't been an appropriate time to have a party and go need party supplies, and companies like TGI Fridays and Logan's unfortunately have had their own internal struggles that have caused them to close. But the way I see it, it is creating some great opportunities for us in this area because there's still a ton of interest and a lot of businesses clamoring to move here and come to this area because, frankly, we're at a really great spot, being right off of I-65, being just a stone's throw over from Old Hickory Boulevard going into the Old Hickory area, and being right at the edge of Hendersonville, where folks there still want to come here and shop and eat and do business.
I think it's a great point that you made that a lot of what we're seeing leave the area, they're having their own national issues. It's not necessarily that Rivergate itself is having these issues. They're having trouble in multiple locations. And, as wonderful and exciting as it was when companies like TGI Fridays came in, that's not necessarily the business model that's succeeding right now. So it does create that opportunity for change and for other businesses to come in that do fit the consumer desires right now. So like you said, it's an exciting time. So let's move on to some of those exciting developments that we can look forward to.
Okay, yeah, I'm happy to talk about the ones that I'm at liberty to talk about.
Ooh.
And maybe give some evasive hints or something about others that are in the works.
Ooh, exciting. So tell us what we are allowed to talk about first.
Well, I think probably what is on the top of everyone's mind right now, because it has been in the news here recently, is Whataburger.
So exciting.
The location and details of one going into Hermitage have now been released, but I can tell you officially that Whataburger is also going to be building a restaurant here in District 10 in the Madison-Rivergate area in the Galton Road corridor. So unfortunately, I've never been to a Whataburger. However, you and I were speaking about it before going on camera, and I know tons of people that I feel almost religious about Whataburger. So I'm excited to try it and see just what it's about.
Well, I will tell you, I lived in Louisiana for 10 years, and when they built a new one in Monroe, Louisiana, they had to have police on the main road directing traffic for about a week after they opened because there were just cars lined up. So I'm super excited to hear that they're coming to this area, and hopefully we can have you talk to them when they get here about getting that spicy ketchup on the shelves in our local groceries.
I will make that commitment to you. In fact,
Thank you.
Some of their management and executives were supposed to be in town last week to do some meetings with some of the council members that were getting a Whataburger, but unfortunately the snow and ice has delayed that, just like everything else last week. And I will say that I guess I am more correct saying that Whataburger is not coming to our area. Whataburger is coming back to our area.
That's true.
Because, you know, I've always been told that back in the day, long before I think I was running around Goodlettsville and Rivergate, that we had a Whataburger, and that building actually is still standing. But
it is, and it's identifiable by its high peaked roof
and
over
it's
on the Gallatin corridor.
Bright color.
Yeah, that's right, and it's floral smell. So.
Yeah.
Well, we look forward to having them back. So tell us about some of the other businesses that are headed our way.
Well, speaking of the original Whataburger in Rivergate, if you go directly across the street from it, we've all noticed that Toys R Us was bulldozed here in
R.I.P. I'm still a Toys R Us kid.
Okay, well, more power to you. And I think, was that the name of
Jeffrey Giraffe. Uh-huh.
Okay. I almost said elephant, so I'm glad you
said
giraffe.
No, definitely giraffe.
So on that site, there's a lot of dirt being moved, and at this point, actually, a lot of walls and stuff going up. Another exciting place to eat is going in, and their walls are up. I think it even has a roof now, and that's a Chipotle.
Woohoo!
And that's another restaurant that a lot of people feel really strongly about. And what's exciting about this Chipotle getting built is that it will be one of the first in the nation to feature a drive-through.
Oh, wow.
Chipotle has a cute name for it. Unfortunately, I don't remember it. But it's, kind of plays into the way we've seen our economy and the service industry shift in the last 12 months through COVID, is more of the takeaway and drive-through service. But I'm excited about Chipotle. I think it's another great option for us to have up here. And on that same site, there will be some other space for restaurant and small retail, including part of it becoming a Raceway convenience store and gas station. So I think that's a good thing, because when you think of the nearest gas station from there, it is a little bit isolated. And Raceway builds really nice facilities, and I also think a car wash will be coming in too. And Lord knows my truck could probably use a car wash after all of that salt and sand and brine on our roads last week.
That was about the first thing I did when I could leave my street, was roll right through Smith Brothers. So
yeah. And let's see, a little further south, if we think of where Arby's is, directly adjacent on the south side of Arby's is a former urgent care clinic. Mm-hmm. And the permits, I believe, have been pulled or are about to be pulled to retrofit that building as a restaurant called Polo Campero.
Pollo.
Or maybe it's Pollo Campero.
Yes, there we are.
I'm not exactly sure of the correct pronunciation, but my native Goodlettsville pronunciation is Polo Campero. And I've not been to one of those either, but it's a Guatemalan fried and grilled chicken place. So I'm excited to try that, because that sounds pretty interesting.
Pollo is Spanish for chicken. So I'm going to guess
I did know that. However, I'm not sure what Campero is, but I look forward to finding out. Maybe it's a good flavor. I don't know.
So it sounds like we have lots of new, interesting places to eat coming in.
Yes, and I'm excited about that, because one of the things I hear most from folks is, we want somewhere to eat. We want somewhere different to eat. You know, we don't want to go to wherever to eat. We want to be able to eat around here. And I want people to eat around here, but more importantly, I also want people from other areas to come here and eat too, because that supports the other businesses.
Absolutely.
In our area. And let's see. I don't know if I can think of any other restaurants, and I feel like I might be forgetting one, but we'll just keep that as a surprise then.
There you go.
Yeah.
It'll just give you even more to reveal
Yeah.
later. But we also have an exciting educational development in your district as well.
Very exciting, and it will also bring more people to our area to support the existing restaurants and the new ones and our retail. So Nashville State is in the process of building a campus up here. The official name is the North Davidson campus, and they are well on their way on constructing that. In fact, the final iron or metal beam was put into place just, I think, about 2 weeks ago. And it's going to be a really great asset to our community to have a place for people to continue learning and participate in higher education. Because right now our closest facilities for that is the main campus of Nashville State, out on the other side of Nashville on White Bridge Road, and Volunteer State Community College in Gallatin. So I'm really excited to have Nashville State here. I know they're going to be a great community partner, and it will provide more people in our area to support our retail infrastructure here.
Especially with our policy in Tennessee, our wonderful policy of giving free community college education to students. That's seen a huge boom in our educational opportunities, and
Sure.
I'm sure we have that partially to thank, as well as the hard work of many people to bring a campus to our area. And I'm very excited because I passed by the other night and I saw lights on, and I cannot wait until they open.
Yeah, and so as of right now, their expected completion date is the spring of 2022, and I'm pumped.
Yes.
I am. You know, it's going to provide us a really great opportunity because they're also going to have community space. So if we want to have community meetings or different events, they'll have space for us. And the way they're building the campus, it will be laid out and built in a way that it can be expanded in the future. And it's going to be a great looking building.
So we've got more restaurants coming in. We've got educational opportunity. And I'm sure that we obviously need to talk about residential.
We do, but I just thought of, and I really want to mention it because it's a great store. We also have Burlington that's currently in the process of building out a new store right here. If everyone remembers where Staples used to be on Gallatin Road behind Barbecuity, which is awesome place to get
in the
brisket.
McHenry Center.
Yes, in the McHenry Center. That was, you know, earlier I was talking about the original Whataburger back in the day, but my mother used to talk about how she and others that went to Goodlettsville High School and Madison High School, they'd be cruising the McHenry Center back in the day.
Yeah.
So Burlington is building out. It was most recently Royal Furniture over there by Books A Million and China Cottage, another great restaurant. And so I think Burlington's going to be really exciting because I'm a fan of clothes and I like shopping and I like saving money. And they are literally in the process of building that out. They're doing quite an extensive build out, and it's a decent size, several $100,000 investment into our community, which excites me and gives us another place to get some stylish clothes.
That's awesome. I have a pea coat that I bought from Burlington back in high school, and suffice to say, it has lasted a while.
Yeah, well, that was, what, about 2 years ago?
Yes, of course.
Took you a while to graduate, maybe.
Yeah. I worked on that for a while.
Well, and you mentioned residential, and I'll start by saying that, you know, if we want to continue being able to support our existing restaurants and future restaurants coming here, and our retail, and bringing more great places to shop here, it is absolutely critical that we continue to be adding more residents in our area, but adding them in a very smart and thoughtful way to make sure that everything we're doing is very intentional, and that it goes with our community. And what I mean by that is making sure that everything sort of fits and flows, and making sure that we're not being taken advantage of by developers and outside investors, but that what's happening is helping us and moving our area forward. And I feel really good about some things that are in the works or already in process. And the first thing I think of is, I'm sure everyone remembers Calhoun's and the kind of size, because we're so sad that it's no longer here. I think about it all the time. But
Spinach Maria, how I miss thee.
But where Calhoun's used to be, the parking lot behind it is still actually a parking lot. But the rezoning was approved several months ago, and here soon, some condos will be coming out of the ground. That will be really nice, have their own pool, and provide some great new residents and a great option of a place to live here.
And they'll be right by all those new
They
restaurants
will.
and our delicious existing ones.
Yes, and it plays right into the fact that, Gallatin Road is already able to handle more density, and we need more residential density along Gallatin Road to make sure that we can support our retail and restaurant infrastructure here.
Absolutely, and particularly in District 10, you've got multiple options to get in and out of there, between 65 and Gallatin itself, and even some, maybe some back streets down Myatt to get to other areas of Madison. So that's a great area to look at more density if you're going to bring more traffic in.
Yeah. And also, if we think of where the Harley shop is, Boswell's, that's right there at the intersection of Liberty Lane. And if you turn on Liberty Lane on the left, as soon as you get past the back of that shopping center, I think it's called Rivergate Station. I don't remember the name of the shopping center. But there will be some more condos and apartments getting built in a more kind of urban mixed-use sort of design. Somewhere, I want to say around 60 or 70, but don't take that to the bank. Some of them kind of run together sometimes. But
all right, I was already running to Synovus right right over there.
Look at you plugging your chamber members. That's good. Yeah, this message brought to you by... No. So that's exciting. And then I've talked to two other investors and development groups that are interested in some more residential right along our main corridor. But those are still in concept and conversation phases, so they can collect my input to make sure that what they see as what they would like to bring to the area matches what our residents feel is best in this area, and will complement what's going on here. There's also a single-family neighborhood that is going through the planning phase right now. If anyone is aware of where the Harbor Village neighborhood is, which is back on Twin Hills Drive, across the street from it,
so near Cadence Senior Living, yeah.
Yes. Okay. I'm a little bit further away from being a senior than you are, so I haven't started touring.
You mean senior in high school, like we just said, right?
Yeah, well, like I said, I haven't began touring places to live when I get that age, so I'm not as familiar with the names.
Well, it's a beautiful
as some
facility once you're ready.
Okay, well, anyhow, further back there's some land that I want to say 30 to 40 houses maybe, but single-family homes, and I believe around the $400,000 price range, which will provide some more options for people to live in our area. And there's also another single-family home developer that I've been working with for the last, I guess 12 months at this point. And they're running into some different obstacles they're trying to overcome as far as access and safety. But I think it would bring another great option in our area. I can't really say where, just because they're still in a very early planning phase. But
more to look forward to.
I mentioned that because I think it's important that people know that we need a diverse mix of housing opportunities and choices in our area, so people in all different phases in their life can be a part of our community.
Absolutely. So we know that the last year has brought a lot of changes to not only our areas, but also to our personal lives. And, just wanted to catch up with you a little bit too. How has your life changed since we last were able to see you at an in-person meeting?
Well, I will say that I have become a much more proficient user of Zoom and WebEx.
Oh, those might be dirty words to people right now.
I know, right? And I've probably logged more hours on those in the last 12 months than I have in my entire life. Personally, I've made a career change. I wanted to change over into something that would provide me a little more flexibility to devote even more time as a council person to our area, just because I just love serving our community so much. Not to sound conceited, but I mean, the main reason I love it is because this is my home and I've lived here my entire life, and I just really want to make sure I love and continue to love where I live. And so, like I said, it might sound conceited, but I really am doing this for me because this is my home and I want it to be great. But also, if anyone, watches Channel 3, I hear our ratings are stellar on Tuesday nights.
Oh, yes.
We kind of look like the Brady Bunch lately when you watch Channel 3. All of us logged in on WebEx with our little boxes across the screen. It's been an adjustment.
Who knew that the Brady Bunch was on Zoom that whole time?
Yeah, or on public access television. But that's been unfortunate. It's a safe way for us to be conducting our meetings, and it's, at this point, it's really the only option because we want to make sure that we're being safe and having a council that's so large. I miss being with my colleagues in person. It's easier to work together when you're in person. It is harder to take things personally when you're in person, and I think everyone is able to be more effective and do better work when we're in person working together. But I really look forward to the day that we can come back in person, and not just the council, but the chamber and all of our friends. So it's been a really lonely 12 months, I'll admit, but I'm remaining hopeful and looking forward to the day when you and I don't have to sit this far apart and that I can give you a big hug, and everyone else that's coming into a chamber meeting or wherever that might be.
I know it was a surprise for, I would say, most of us, since we're not infectious disease experts over here, to find out that it was going to last this long. So I know that we were anxious at the beginning of this pandemic to get back together, and even more so now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have a little Andy Cohen moment here, and as we start to wrap up.
You're scaring me.
No. A good moment, a good Andy Cohen moment. We're going to just do like a rose and a thorn for your pandemic experience.
Okay. Well, so a rose about the pandemic is, obviously I have been at home much, much more. And it has given me a lot of time to reflect. And I have gotten to really reflect and think about a lot of things in my life in addition to council. And I think that's been a healthy thing to do. And as I've talked to others, I know they've been able to do a little more of the same thing. It's helped me think about my health and other ways I can be a better family member, a better member of our community, and a more helpful person. I think that's been beneficial and something that a lot of us have started taking for granted, especially in the last decade, as we are more and more glued to the television and computer screen and our phones 24/7. And it's a good, healthy thing for us to be able to take some time and just reflect on our life and what we're doing, and how we can be better friends and better people. Now, the thorn. I'm a very social person. I'm a touchy-feely person. I love to express my gratitude and affection with hugs and handshakes, and it's been difficult not to be able to run up and give a big hug to a friend.
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually talking to a friend yesterday, and we were looking back on our Google calendars because we were trying to remember when was the last time that we actually hung out and got to see each other. And it had been 13 months. And that's just wild when you actually sit and think about the fact that a friend of yours who you used to see on a regular basis, you haven't gotten to see in 13 months. And, I've been getting out in a responsible and safe way, but this particular friend, because of personal health reasons, has had to be much more guarded, and I just really look forward to being able to give that friend a hug. But I think another thorn is probably the way that our small businesses have really been affected.
Mm-hmm.
Another friend I was talking to is a small business owner, and they do a lot of catering and events, and they've just been absolutely devastated and crushed. And I know that the federal government and then we as Metro have tried to be very intentional providing support and relief to our small business owners and residents. I know it's not enough, and it's because our resources are very finite and limited, and trying to figure out the best way to utilize those limited resources is it's difficult because we're almost forced to pick winners and losers, and it's tough. But some good news, I will say, Metro has received an additional just over $20 million through the Metro Action Commission to provide more support for our residents. And so if anyone is struggling, whether it's with food insecurity, their rent, if they have rent that's backed, that is owed, they can get support from the Metro Action Commission. And if anyone has any sort of need, I would love for them to give me the opportunity to try and help them, whether they live in my district or not, because right now it's just so important. And we especially saw that last year after the tornado, and a couple months ago with the attack on 2nd Avenue, that we really have to make sure that we are coming together as a community and helping one another. And so if someone has a need that's watching, please reach out to me so I can connect you to the correct resource, whether it's the Metro Action Commission, or if you need help with your mortgage or a car payment. There are resources out there that we can find a way to help them out. My cell phone number is 615-390-6840. That's not a council number. That is my personal cell phone number. My email is Zach, Z-A-C-H, .young@nashville.gov. We've got to stick together, and whether it's individuals that need help with rent or whether it's our small business owners that need help navigating a lot of the grants that are out there or the PPP loans. We're blessed to have some great banks in our area that have done an incredible job with our small businesses and helping them get their PPP loans. I know multiple business owners that have told me, if not for that PPP loan, our doors would have closed several months ago.
I've heard the same from quite a few people, and it's always been important for us to support one another individually, to support our businesses, to support our local franchise owners and our nonprofits and our churches in this area. It's even more important to do so now. So as we learn to live in a new environment right now that we hope will return to normal soon, we do need to find ways that we can still support what we want to see stay in our community. We may have a changing landscape right now, and some of that is exciting and for the better, but we want to make sure that the things that we love in our community get to stay here too. So as we move forward, let's make sure to get that takeout and go to those services and donate those clothes or that food or whatever we can do to support our local businesses, small businesses, and organizations. So loving the message, loving seeing you in person, even though it's from across the pew over there.
I know. And I was actually sitting here thinking of the last time I got to see you in person. And I'm honestly not sure when it was. I mean, it was definitely more than a year ago.
Oh, it definitely was more than a year ago, for sure.
So gosh, I don't know, but you look great.
You too. Thank you.
I think, the pandemic hasn't affected you, it doesn't look like.
I've got a very active 81-pound pit bull that keeps me running, so got that exercise still going, not gaining that pandemic weight.
Right on, right on.
And you're looking great too, and thank you so much for taking the time to be here. It's great to see your face. And just wanted to say a quick thank you to City Road for letting us record in this beautiful sanctuary, and to Jay Voorhees for helping us out with this video. Make sure and come on Sunday morning to listen to Jay's message. And again, thank you so much. Have a great day.